So now we've learned what a sine graph, a cos graph, and what a tan graph looks like. So there's a lot of ticks there, so that's very good work. So remember what they look like. So now this is you knowing all of those different graphs. But you're probably wondering what all these type of graphs would look like. So that's what we're going to come on to next. All about all these different graphs. So you'll know all of this stuff for your exam. So first of all, we're going to look at an x squared graph. So it would look just like this. And make sure it goes through this point here, which is 0. Because 0 times 0 is 0, so it has to go through 0. So that just shows x squared graph. So that's what it looks like. So if you did a negative x graph, it would look like this. Sorry, I can't really. Yeah, it goes something like this. So it's reflected because it's the negative of this. So it'll be underneath like that. So this is a negative x squared graph. So that's it for the x squared graph. So that's what it looks like. If you have to draw a graph with x squared, then that is how it would look. Right, so now we're going to do an x cubed graph. So x cubed is x times x times x. So it would look like this. And this is different from an x squared graph, because an x squared graph is more of a curve, but this one is just a line. So x cubed is always a line. So I'll just write here x cubed graph. So that's what it looked like. And if you wanted to do a negative x cubed graph, it would go the opposite way, so like that. So that's a minus x cubed graph. And that's because it's always negative itself. So that is what it would look like. Right, so now I'm going to show you how you would organise a graph if it was given to you like this. So if you see this one, a number here, plus something, it will always have to go through that point at the y-axis. Even, doesn't matter what number it is, doesn't matter what number this is, it will always go through this point. Because 0 plus that number will always be that number. So in this example, if you want to work out 0, then we do 0 times 2, which is obviously 0, and then plus 1, so it'll be here at 1. So I've worked out what these would be, so I'm going to show you. Now this is how you should lay it out if you have to work it out in an exam. So just write down, you might be given this sometimes and you have to work out what the numbers are or anything like that. So that's what I've done. That's how you should lay it out if you need to. And then, so the coordinates would be, 0, 1, and it just makes it easier for you to know, and etc, etc. So it just goes on like that. So if I was to plot this graph, then it'll be there. And we've got 1 and 3. So about there. And then we've got 2 and 5 about there. And 3 and 7. We don't really have 7, so we'll just have to go like this. So it would look something like, oh, that's a bit rubbish, but it just shows you. And but if you have, right, so if you have your points going like this, like a curve, then you don't join up each dot by itself, then you have to do it freehand. Like if it's a line, then you can do a straight line across, but if it's in a curve or an arch or anything, you need to do it freehand. And if you have points, I'm going to do it here so you can see better. So if you have the points all up here, and the two bottom points are the same and it's in a curve. I'm sorry, I've been attacked by some paper there. You have to join it up, but make sure at this point you do a little curve like that. So you have to go under those points, like in a circular sort of motion, and that is how you have to do it, or else you won't get the point. So that is how you would do that sort of graph. So remember, it always has to pass through this number at 0. So remember that, okay? Right, and also from this number here says that for every square you go along, you have to go up 2. So go up 2. And don't forget to do that either. So here on my graph, so it's really rubbish, but right, so if I've got here, right, this is the x-axis just because it's there. This is the y-axis, okay? I know it's not perfect, but so this one you have to go up 2 more, so it will be up here, if you understand what I mean. So for every other square you go along, go up 2 more and 2 more and 2 more on top of what you've already done. So that concludes. So just look at that number all the time, and that concludes what you must do. Right, I'll just write on here just because, so you'll know. So that is the point where you cross the the y-axis. Oh, I'm rubbish, I actually am. The y-axis at 0. Because it doesn't matter, any number with x, it will always have to cross that number. So just remember that in your exam and you'll do fine. So good luck everyone, and I hope this has helped. Thanks, bye.